Hey everyone, welcome to RD Custom Diecast. We're going to go over stripping paint off these cars before we prep them and go to paint. Have a few right here we'll go over. I got a few more I've got to take apart. We'll drill them real quick, and then we'll move on to what I use to go ahead and strip the paint off, and I'll show you that process. So bear with me, let me get these done real quick. We'll get everything ready to go, and I'll show you how I do this. Okay guys, we're ready to go ahead and start stripping. Got this Jasco Professional Strength Paint and Epoxy Remover, 15-minute. We're going to brush this on. I would probably, if I'm not going to dip like I'm brushing, recommend that you find a glass container. Make sure you got gloves on. I use one of these brushes with metal handle, little hobby brush. Several places you can get them. These actually came from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to brush this on. And then I'm going to set them in this pan. Make sure you don't use a pan that you're going to cook with. This is all that I use this for. Guys, this is kind of strong, so make sure you're in a ventilated area. I'm near a window here, but I actually may wind up taking this out while it sits for its 15 minutes and just get it out of this room where it'll clear out a little bit. So let me get this inside. It's not quite as critical inside, except remember to get your interior if you're going to paint. At least that's the way I did it. Alright guys. Make sure you get it everywhere. Alright. I try to do these several at a time if I'm going to be painting, and get them knocked out. That way I don't have to mess with this very often. Okay guys, I'm fixing to have to change batteries on this camera. I'm going to do one more of these. I'm not going to make y'all watch me do every single one. Usually I have a little bit bigger glass jar. I can't find where I have them right now. I've got a package of them somewhere. This one's working, it just doesn't hold very much, and as you can see, this brush doesn't fit in it very well. Make sure you get underneath everything. Then you're going to let these set for 15 minutes. Okay guys, we're back. So I got that pan done. Don't want to overcrowd everything too much. Let's do this one. Guys, these nitro gloves work pretty good, but sometimes I use kind of like dishwashing gloves. They're a little heavier, a little bit better. But these are 7mm. They work pretty good, but they start getting a little bubbly after a while, so sometimes you'll have to change them out. You don't want this stuff on your skin. Okay guys, we're back for a minute. I just stepped away for just a second, went and changed gloves. Look at those pretty pink gloves. You like that? Look, I walked away for about 2 or 3 minutes, and look how well this is working on some of these. I'm gonna go ahead and let it set for a little bit longer. That'll brush off a lot easier. Dab a little bit more since I just handled it. Let me bring this other one back over here. We're going to dab a little bit more in here. I went a little light on these. But it's working, look. Just gotta let it sit. You gotta be patient. Alright. Alright guys, we'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, let's see where we're at. Get another brush out. All right. What I'll do is try to get most of this off. I'll go rinse these off. See where we're at. And if we need to put a little bit more, we will. It's not too bad. We'll just take a wire brush to it when we get ready, right before we get ready to paint. Go into a little bit more detail. This was just to show you how this stuff works. Alright guys, as you can see, most of that's coming off pretty clean. So I'm going to take this and go get it under some water. Work it with this brush. I've got another brush. It's actually called a denture brush. You can get them at Dollar Tree. Small brush. It looks like a oversized toothbrush. It's about that long. It's not very long, but the bristles are pretty stiff on them. So hopefully you can see all that paint's coming off. Most of this is just sticking on there, really light. It'll come off once we get into the water. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm not gonna take the camera in there because I really don't got a good place where I'm gonna rinse these off at to mount the camera, and I'll show you when we get done what they look like and whether any of them are gonna need to be either rebrushed or possibly dipped at that point. Okay guys, we're back. So that didn't go exactly as planned. Some of these stripped really nice, others didn't. Like I say, this Jasco paint remover is something that I'm trying new. The older style that I used of the aircraft stripper, I'm going to find it. If I can, I'm going to locate where I can buy some more of it. It just didn't perform quite as well. As you can see, it's a good one right there to show you. It started removing some of it. If I would have let it set longer, it probably would have worked. If you look at these, they turned out pretty good. There's several of them that actually turned out good. This premium, kind of interesting. It took off most of the paint, but this center stripe there didn't even hardly touch it, but everything else, even on the inside, come out just fine. So what we're going to do, I wasn't planning on doing it, but we're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and show you the dip method. It's not my preferred method. I probably could just brush this stuff on again and get the rest of it off. I could also take a wire wheel to it and get it off as well. But we're just going to go ahead and show you both methods. That way you have both options for you. What I did is take the paint remover, put it in a glass jar. I would recommend glass or metal. It's pretty simple. Just dump them in. So I'm definitely going to get the ones that had some problems with the paint coming off. We'll see how many we can get in there. And we'll go from there. I'll be back with y'all shortly after we let this set for about 15-20 minutes. I'll rinse those off. I'll get another batch started. And then at the end, we'll see what they'll look like without prepping with the wire wheel. I want y'all to see what they look like before you go with the wire wheel with them. This one did pretty good. It had a couple of little spots. I probably, normally if I wasn't doing this video to show you how to strip, I would just go ahead and take a wire wheel to the rest of this, not worry about the small stuff. But we're gonna re-dip some of these, so let's just go with it. I'm gonna put the lid on this. I'm gonna go watch TV for about 15-20 minutes to kill some time. We'll come back and we'll start pulling them out. And then I'll put this last batch right here, like 4. I'll do that and we'll be done. All right, guys. These have been setting for a little bit. I don't know if they set long enough. We'll find out. Pan over here. A little brush test on them. Yeah, it's starting to come off. I may leave them in there for just a little bit longer. It'll get to a point where there's so little bit left on them that it's not going to be worth leaving them in here. We'll just take the wire wheel. But we check a couple of these. Hold on to it. Yeah, this, like this one, that paint's coming off. Matter of fact. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Guys, you see that? Just with that brush. A lot of that come off. And like I say, if I have some spots that's going to be really stubborn, like I said, I'm going to let this set just a little bit longer. If I have some real stubborn spots, I'm just going to take my wire wheel and my Dremel, get the rest of it. I've done that plenty of times. That's how I usually finish cleaning them up anyway before I paint them, so it's not that big a deal. I just really like it when they come out really clean. Sort of like this right here. I mean, it did really good immediately on this when we just brushed it on. Okay guys, just to kind of quickly show you a few of them that just cleaned up. This is the VW bus, those blue, and it is clean. So what I'll do with these, after I get done with them, since I won't be immediately painting them, I'll put them in a bag. This one cleaned up real nice. Might be just a little bit of spot around the little gas cap area, but we can get it with the wire wheel. Yeah, there might be just a little bit in there. It's hard to see. But everything else cleaned up nice on this one. There's just a little bit. It cleaned up with a fingernail right there. So anyway, that one turned out good. We had some paint sticking around the headlights there and in the grill area. That came on out when we dunked it that second time. But I'll put these in plastic bags to help keep them from oxidizing. That's the way I do it. You got any questions, let me know. In just a few minutes, we'll be back with you, and I'll show you how all of them look after we take all of them out of the chemical bath. So these are ready to go. I'm going to bag these up, and they'll be ready for paint. Got everything washed up and cleaned up. Only had a few issues with some paint. Most of these come out really nice. I go ahead and I put everything back together. I will label a package like I did on these. That way I have everything ready to go and everything's together when I get ready to paint them. So they turned out really nice. I would say if you're going to use Jasco, go ahead and dip instead of brush on. I mean, the brush on worked okay. If you do that, just make sure you let it set longer. It's the first time I've ever used that brand. I'm used to using a different brand. If anybody knows maybe something I did wrong with that particular brand, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. I probably will just discontinue using that and go back to my old one, because I know it worked really good. Like I say, they came out really nice, cleaned inside and out really well. So this one's ready to go. There's a few issues in the crevices on these. We'll take a wire wheel to that. That'd be easy to clean up on these little spots right here. Some of the crevices was a little bit difficult to get the paint off of, so wire wheel will make quick work of it, so that's not going to be a problem there. And these Aston Martins, they actually stripped really good, except this paint that was down the center. And what was funny about it, I could not scrub either one of these off, and I put the air to it to dry it off, and it blew all this off. So this might wind up flaking off. We'll see. If not, we'll wire wheel it as well. But as you can see, the rest of the body inside and out is perfect. Didn't have any issues with that, so worked good on that, except that right there, and we're going to take care of that. This Chevy truck turned out really good. There's a couple issues in some tight corners here. Everything else inside looked really good. Again, wire wheel. It's going to be a reoccurring theme. There's a couple that will need that. And this gas monkey, take a wire wheel right here on these hood lines and headlight lines. We'll go there and back here. And it'll clean up. It'll be fine. It'll get perfectly clean before we paint it. This will be really fast though, because you got most of the paint off of it. I did leave the base the same, the original color on this. So I'm trying to figure out what would go with this gold. Actually, it looks pretty cool with just the Zamac. So, but we're going to change it. We're actually going to paint it, and I'll figure out something that'll go good with that gold. So we'll see how that looks. All these turned out good. Not gonna have to really do much prep on these at all, very little. All these right here and all these back here absolutely cleaned up perfect. Didn't have any problems with those. So you never know, it just depends. Some paint sticks a little bit better than the other, and you can have two cars that are identical, like these two right here. This one came off real easy. This one took a little bit longer to get the paint off of it. So you never know. No big deal. You let it set a little bit longer in that paint stripper. If that doesn't work, take a wire wheel to it on a Dremel and they get it right off. That's pretty much it for this episode. Just want to kind of show y'all how I go about stripping these cars, and it's pretty simple. Any tips and tricks you got you want to share with us, leave them down in the comments, and I'll catch you later. Thank you.